Good morning. Well, winter, not really. A little bit of winter, a little cool weather has finally made it down south. What I love about being down here is the moss in the trees. You do not get that everywhere you go. And this is a good example of one right here. Anyway, we're going to take us a little walk today. And check out some moss in the trees. A little bit of old Florida. You just can't get that anywhere. But you can get it right here with a palm tree growing up into an oak tree. And just unbelievable amounts of moss. Part of the Florida Wildlife Corridor. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Anyway, we're going to see what we can see around these parks today. It's just nice to go out and see a little bit of. Here's a good thing: if you do go out into the wilderness anywhere, you need to remember that sign wherever you go, whatever you're looking at. And the beaches, that too. Take your garbage with you when you go. You wouldn't want them leaving it on your coffee table at home. I don't know which way. I hadn't been here. I see some big oak trees over yonder with a lot of moss in them. Hopefully it's cool enough we don't see no snakes. I'm not a big fan. But you never know what you're going to run into around here. Sign had whatever it had, panthers and gators and something else. Probably bears. I think all three of those are in this area. So that is a real something to look out for. But yeah, it's nice. Get out here. See a little moss in the trees. It's one of the things I miss whenever we go. I go out of town to work a lot of times, and usually that's further up north than the Florida-Georgia line. So you get on up about mid-Georgia, up out of South Carolina a little bit. There ain't no more moss in the trees. I don't know how much there is in South Carolina, but I know you get up about mid-Georgia, you start running out of it. Somewhere up there. But boy, they're nice. I got my orange hat on today just because, even though this is a nature walk state park area, we still got so many of them good old boys down here that they just like to hunt. And a lot of times they may wander across a boundary into a state park and not even realize it, you know. So I thought I'd wear that blaze orange because it is hunting season. So I'm trying not to become a statistic. How about that tree, huh? How about that rascal? Well, I've got a big old limb hanging out of it. You see that monster? These trees are incredible, I'm here to tell you. I just love them. That is what it's all about, folks. Get out in nature, do a little roaming around, enjoy the peace, unwind. And that's a good representation of it right here. It's really well kept around here. Best we can tell. Anyway, we'll keep moving along. I don't know if I'm getting me in this picture frame or not. I guess I am. But yeah, if you were wondering why the pretty hat, that's why. It is hunting season. I hadn't heard no gunshots. That's a plus. That'll probably send me on back to the truck. I figure you look a little less like a deer if you're riding around in a truck. But walking around in the woods in a brown jacket, I was like, you know, probably ought to put that orange hat on just for safety's sake. Don't want to mess nothing up. What I like about hiking trails is there all these little, as you're going along, they like to remind you, you know, that there's someone up above us looking down on us at all times and caring about our needs and, you know, how we get along. And there's little reminders everywhere you go. See that right there? Yep. He's up above all the time. Just look up and give thanks. Here's one. There's a trail cuts out through there. This looks like a road that cuts down through here. I don't know about the skinny trail right here. We're gonna check it out. So if I start dancing, y'all know I done seen a snake. Not because I all of a sudden got the feeling the groove. This is nice. I had never been to this one though. Keep it all mowed up, or the trail to walk. Fairly wide. Another big oak tree. Nice to see these big oak trees around here. I was afraid in some of the hurricanes we've had over the past few years that the salt water getting up in these low spots and inundating them might kill them off, but apparently the salt water went out fast enough that we had enough rain come through to it didn't kill them. Well, got some of them, but some of them still made it. So that's cool. What have we got here? We got a little crime scene going on here on the ground. Might have just been a coon though. Don't look like nothing major, I don't think. See if we can find a track here. I think that was armadillo. Yeah, I think that was armadillo rooting around. Thought we might have some proof of wildlife. You know, you got to check that stuff out. That's cool. I love that. This is a wildlife area. And it's a pretty one. This is a lowland spot. Boy, if we had had any rain any time recently, this would be soup-y. A little game trail action right here. Oh yeah, they come right through here. Go right out through yonder way. That same crazy old uncle I've talked about in many of my other videos has, oh boy, did he love to hunt. That rascal, I'm talking about, loved it. My dad loves to hunt, or used to. He don't hunt as much anymore as he used to, but boy, they're the two huntingest, lovingest people I ever met in my life. And anyway, that uncle of mine, he'd so bad about it. About hunting season be over, you make it till about May or June, he'd have to just open up the back door of the house. He lived out in the woods anyway. He'd open up the back door of the house and just fire off a shot down there in the old bottom, just so he could smell the gunpowder. That's what we're talking about. Love for hunting. The old man, me and him was hunting one time in the forest and dog hunting, where you get up on the road, you circle a block, people find the tracks, they let the dogs out on one side, guys get all around the block of woods, and wait till they flush the deer out across the road. They flushed the deer out across the road, and that sucker shot across there like a shoestring. He was stretched out tight. I'm talking about, choom, he shot across the road. I was like, holy cow. Dad's like, jump the truck. We gotta get to the other block. I'm like, okay, whatever that means. I was a little kid. I jumped the truck. He took off like Mario and Andretti. We was headed to the other side. Through the woods now, not like it's a good smooth road. He's ripping out through there. Some old log road they've been hauling pine trees out on. So it's all rutted up. We're bouncing across that sucker like it's a test track for new vehicles somewhere, that people that don't care about their vehicles are going to get another one and test it later. And he is, whoa, whoa. He's stretching out that doo-wah cable on that rascal again. We get to the other side, jumps up on the back of the truck. Deer pops out on the road and stops just for a second. Pow! He nailed that sucker. It did about a 360, or we thought he did, and shot off into the woods. Anyway, yeah, he got that one. Another old boy I know, a friend of mine, he did that. He was hunting somewhere way across the field, long shot out there. And he said, man, he said, I was sitting there talking to the old man. I looked out there and there was that deer standing out there in the field. He said he grabbed his rifle and leaned up on the back of the truck. Pow! Blop! Down went the deer. He drove out there, just snatched it up. It was a little one. He was a big guy. He snatched it up. Uh-oh, crime scene. Throwed it on the toolbox. Rode on to town to get some ice. And stopped at a stoplight in town. That deer stood up on his toolbox and bailed out right there in the middle of town and left him dumbfounded. What? He done knocked that deer out. And the deer said, I think that's going to be about enough of this, partner. He bailed out. Look at this. We're finna find us a nice little lowland creek here. Big old pine trees. Oh, sorry. There we go. That's a little better. Got a nice little spot out here over this little creek. Like I say, if we had any, something's been down through here rooting in the creek. Probably hogs. Not too much, so. Got a little bench here too. That's nice. How far this rascal goes. But we'll follow it on along, see what we can see. Definitely some beautiful old Florida. Got some I should have worn my boots out here. These roots are getting a little bit rough on the ground here. Old tennis shoes. Another little game trail off to the side there. Guess we're gonna make a loop out here at some point and start heading back towards the truck where we parked. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Another little bridge. How about that? How about that, folks? Couple little seats for people to take a little breather on. Another little creek, swamp area over yonder. Huh. Well, that's cool. That is nice. Nice, nice. Couple tree limbs down here. Nothing major. Oh, we got a whole tree down. Okay. It's a little more than a tree limb. It's a whole tree. No big deal though. We're gonna go right on under it because it's trapped on several other trees it's trying to pull down. I just wonder if when that tree fell, it made any noise. Anybody else ever wonder that? I didn't figure it was just me. All right, well, we're getting back to the truck now, so we'll see you on the next traveling talk show. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a like. Thanks for watching.